The story begins in the beautiful and vibrant underwater city of Bikini Bottom, a place where life is simple, colorful, and full of joy. This is the home of SpongeBob SquarePants, a cheerful, optimistic, and endlessly enthusiastic sea sponge who lives in a pineapple under the sea. SpongeBob is not just any resident of Bikini Bottom. He is the fry cook at the Krusty Krab, the most popular restaurant in town, where he works tirelessly flipping Krabby Patties and spreading happiness wherever he goes. He lives with his pet snail Gary, who is his best friend and constant companion. SpongeBob's life is filled with simple pleasures: jellyfishing with his best friend Patrick Star, blowing bubbles, and making everyone around him smile with his infectious laughter and positive attitude. He is beloved by almost everyone in Bikini Bottom, from the citizens who enjoy his Krabby Patties to his fellow employees at the Krusty Krab. He approaches every day with unbridled enthusiasm, believing that each new sunrise brings endless possibilities and opportunities for adventure. But today is a special day for SpongeBob. He wakes up with an extra spring in his step, feeling that something big is about to happen. He measures himself against the wall, where he has been tracking his height with seashells, and discovers that he has grown half a seashell overnight. To SpongeBob, this is a monumental achievement. He is now exactly 36 seashells tall, which means he is officially a big man. This realization fills him with immense pride and excitement. He sings a joyful song about being a big man, dancing through his pineapple home and celebrating his newfound stature. He believes that being taller makes him more mature, more capable, and more deserving of respect. He is determined to prove to the world that he is no longer a little sponge, that he has grown up and is ready to take on bigger challenges. He practices his big man walk, puffs out his chest, and imagines all the great things he will now be able to do. SpongeBob's first stop is to share his big news with his best friend Patrick Star, a pink starfish who lives under a rock. Patrick is simple-minded but loyal, and he is always ready to support SpongeBob in his adventures. However, when SpongeBob tells Patrick that he is 36 seashells tall, Patrick is confused. He doesn't understand why SpongeBob is so excited. And he doesn't even recognize his friend at first because SpongeBob's new height has somehow changed his appearance in Patrick's eyes. But soon enough, Patrick joins in the celebration, declaring that SpongeBob is now a big man, and they both dance with joy, singing and laughing together. Patrick, despite his confusion, is genuinely happy for his friend and wants to celebrate this milestone with him. SpongeBob then goes to see Sandy Cheeks, a squirrel from Texas who lives in an underwater tree dome. Sandy is a scientist and an adventurer, and she is one of SpongeBob's closest friends. When SpongeBob asks her if she notices anything different about him, Sandy, being practical, assumes he has bought new shoes. She doesn't notice his height, which disappoints SpongeBob, but he remains undeterred. He continues his rounds, visiting Plankton, the tiny evil genius who runs the chum bucket and is constantly trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula. When SpongeBob proudly announces his new status, Plankton simply insults him, calling him an idiot. But SpongeBob takes this as a sign of respect, believing that Plankton finally acknowledges his greatness. He leaves the chum bucket feeling even more confident. SpongeBob's ultimate goal is to ride the big man's roller coaster at the Glove World amusement park. This roller coaster, called the Shipwreck, is reserved for those who are tall enough, and SpongeBob has always dreamed of riding it. He believes that now that he is a big man, he can finally conquer his fear and prove his courage. He drags Patrick along, and they head to Glove World, filled with excitement and anticipation. On the way, they sing and dance, imagining the thrill of the ride and the glory that awaits them. SpongeBob is convinced that riding the Shipwreck will be the ultimate proof of his big man status. At Glove World, SpongeBob and Patrick approach the Shipwreck roller coaster. SpongeBob is nervous, but he is determined to ride it. However, when Patrick asks him if he is scared, SpongeBob admits his fear. Patrick, ever supportive, suggests that they ride together for support. But when they approach the ticket booth, the ride attendant tells them that they are not tall enough to ride. SpongeBob is devastated. He measures himself against the height requirement and realizes that he is still too short. His dream of being a big man is shattered, and he feels like a failure. He had believed that his new height would change everything, but the world still sees him as small. He slumps away from the ride, his hopes crushed, and Patrick tries to comfort him. But SpongeBob is inconsolable. Just as SpongeBob is about to give up, Mr. Krabs, the greedy owner of the Krusty Krab, approaches him. Mr. Krabs is a tough, no-nonsense crab who values money above all else. He sees SpongeBob's disappointment and decides to cheer him up by telling him an epic story from his own past. Mr. Krabs reveals that he once sailed with the legendary Flying Dutchman, a ghostly pirate who haunts the seas. He tells SpongeBob about his adventures in the Undersea, a terrifying realm filled with ghost pirates, monsters, and dangers beyond imagination. Mr. Krabs describes how he faced these horrors with courage and determination, proving himself to be a true pirate. He speaks of battling sea monsters, navigating treacherous waters, and outsmarting ghostly adversaries. He even shows SpongeBob his pirate certificate, a document that proves his bravery and skill. SpongeBob is inspired by Mr. Krabs' story. He decides that he wants to become a pirate too, believing that earning a pirate certificate will finally prove that he is a big man. He imagines himself as a swashbuckling hero, admired by all of Bikini Bottom. Mr. Krabs, however, dismisses SpongeBob's ambitions, telling him that he is just a bubble-blowing kid who is not ready for such challenges. He sends SpongeBob off to clean the toilets, reminding him of his place. SpongeBob is hurt but not defeated. He is determined to prove Mr. Krabs wrong. He becomes obsessed with the idea of earning a pirate certificate, studying the requirements: bravery, courage, heroism, grit, spirit, and strong intestines. He believes that if he can achieve this, he will finally be respected as a big man. He spends hours reading pirate books, practicing pirate phrases, and imagining himself as a fearsome pirate captain. While cleaning the toilets, SpongeBob discovers Mr. Krabs' pirate certificate, which had fallen out of his pocket. He is thrilled to have it, but he also knows that he must return it. However, when he tries to find Mr. Krabs, he accidentally triggers the Flying Dutchman's horn, which summons the ghostly pirate himself. The Flying Dutchman appears, a terrifying figure who has been cursed to wander the seas forever, searching for a pure soul to break his curse. He is a towering, ghostly pirate with glowing eyes and a menacing laugh. The Dutchman is immediately drawn to SpongeBob, sensing his pure heart and innocent mind. He sees SpongeBob as the key to breaking his curse and offers him a deal. He will take SpongeBob to the Undersea and help him become a pirate, if SpongeBob agrees to help him break his curse. SpongeBob, desperate to prove himself, accepts the deal without fully understanding the consequences. He is blinded by his desire for validation and the promise of becoming a pirate. Mr. Krabs, who witnesses the exchange, is horrified. He knows the true nature of the Flying Dutchman and the danger SpongeBob is in. He tries to stop the Dutchman, but it is too late. SpongeBob is whisked away to the Undersea, leaving Mr. Krabs behind. Mr. Krabs is filled with guilt and regret. He realizes that his lies about his past have led SpongeBob into danger. He decides that he must rescue his fry cook, no matter the cost. He knows that the Undersea is a place of unspeakable horrors, but he is determined to save SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs assembles a rescue team. He enlists Squidward Tentacles, the grumpy and sarcastic octopus who works at the Krusty Krab, and Gary, SpongeBob's pet snail. Squidward is reluctant, but Mr. Krabs threatens to make him flip Krabby Patties forever if he refuses. Gary, however, is determined to save his owner. Together, this unlikely trio sets off on a perilous journey to the Undersea to rescue SpongeBob. Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Gary travel in a makeshift vehicle, navigating treacherous terrain and facing numerous obstacles along the way. They are determined to reach SpongeBob before it is too late. Meanwhile, SpongeBob arrives in the Undersea and is immediately overwhelmed by its strangeness and danger. The Undersea is a dark, twisted version of the ocean, filled with ghostly creatures and eerie landscapes. The Flying Dutchman introduces him to his ship, the Flying Dutchman's vessel, and gives him a ridiculous pirate costume. SpongeBob is excited, but he is also confused. He doesn't understand why he has to dress up in such a silly outfit. The Dutchman explains that he needs SpongeBob to complete a series of challenges to prove his worthiness as a pirate. These challenges are designed to test his bravery, courage, and spirit. SpongeBob eagerly agrees, ready to prove himself. SpongeBob's journey through the Undersea is filled with bizarre and terrifying challenges. He must navigate treacherous paths, face giant monsters, and overcome his own fears. He confronts a giant sea serpent, battles ghostly pirates, and crosses a chasm filled with deadly creatures. Along the way, he is guided by the Dutchman, who constantly encourages him and assures him that he is capable of greatness. SpongeBob begins to gain confidence, believing that he is truly becoming a pirate. He feels stronger and braver with each challenge he overcomes. However, the Dutchman's true intentions are gradually revealed. He is not interested in helping SpongeBob become a pirate. He only wants to use SpongeBob's pure soul to break his own curse. He has been manipulating SpongeBob from the beginning, feeding his desire for validation and his need to prove himself. The Dutchman's plan is to have SpongeBob complete all the challenges, then use him in a ritual to transfer his curse to SpongeBob, freeing himself forever. He is a master of deception, and SpongeBob is completely unaware of the danger he is in. Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Gary navigate the dangerous Undersea, facing their own set of challenges. They encounter strange creatures, treacherous obstacles, and the Dutchman's minions. Mr. Krabs is forced to confront his own past lies and his fear of being exposed as a fraud. Squidward, despite his grumbling, shows moments of bravery and loyalty. Gary, though small, proves to be incredibly resourceful and determined. Their journey is a testament to their love for SpongeBob and their willingness to risk everything to save him. They overcome every obstacle, driven by their determination to rescue their friend. As SpongeBob approaches the final challenge, he is confronted by the Dutchman's true nature. The Dutchman reveals his plan, and SpongeBob is heartbroken. He realizes that he has been used, that his dreams of being a pirate were nothing but a manipulation. He feels foolish and ashamed. He had believed that the Dutchman was his mentor and friend, but he was only a pawn in the Dutchman's scheme. But just as the Dutchman is about to complete the ritual, Mr. Krabs and the others arrive. They confront the Dutchman and try to stop him. A fierce battle ensues. The Dutchman is powerful, but Mr. Krabs, Squidward, and Gary fight with all their might. They are outmatched, but they refuse to give up. SpongeBob, seeing his friends in danger, finds the courage to fight back. He uses his unique abilities, his bubble-blowing skills, and his positive attitude to distract the Dutchman and give his friends an opening. He blows a massive bubble that traps the Dutchman momentarily, allowing Mr. Krabs to strike. In the climax of the story, SpongeBob realizes that true strength does not come from being a pirate or a big man. It comes from being true to oneself, from the love of friends and family, and from the courage to face one's fears. He confronts the Dutchman and tells him that he is not a pirate, and he doesn't need to be one. He is just SpongeBob, and that is enough. He refuses to break the curse, choosing instead to break the Dutchman's horn, which is the source of his power. By destroying the horn, he breaks the Dutchman's curse and frees himself and his friends. The Dutchman is defeated, and his curse is lifted. He is transformed into a harmless ghost, forced to wander the seas forever without his power. SpongeBob and his friends return to Bikini Bottom, where they are celebrated as heroes. Mr. Krabs finally admits that he lied about his past, and he apologizes to SpongeBob for not believing in him. He presents SpongeBob with a new pirate certificate, one that he created himself, acknowledging SpongeBob's true bravery and courage. He tells SpongeBob that he is proud of him and that he has always been a big man in his heart. SpongeBob learns that being a big man is not about height or accomplishments. It is about being kind, brave, and true to oneself. He reconciles with Patrick, who had felt abandoned during SpongeBob's quest for validation. Patrick forgives him, and they renew their friendship. The story ends with SpongeBob, Patrick, and Gary blowing bubbles together, happy and content with who they are. SpongeBob has finally found his place in the world, not as a pirate or a big man, but as himself. He looks at his friends and realizes that the love and support of those around him are what truly matter.